Well, thank you very much. Let's finish off our class or lectures for this topic of the introduction to the PNG legal system. Right, how to read case and how to read case law. What is case law? The ability to interpret a case in proper English is especially important. Court cases are the primary interpretation of law given by a magistrate or a judge. And to understand a case, it is important to first locate a case using its citation. Once you do that, you would note that it will be easier to identify the case. All right. The most or the highest cases that we have in PNG right now is what you call SCR, or we call them Supreme Court references. So in your example there, in your slide, you see a case titled SCR number 3 of 2011, referenced by the Pacific Provincial Government. This is what it means. If you see the word SCR in front of a case, it is a peculiar case known as a Supreme Court reference. This is provided for under Section 1890 of the PNG Constitution and can only be initiated by someone of standing, example, the Opposition Leader, Prime Minister, Ombudsman, Commission. In a typical Supreme Court reference, the referrer is the party initiating the case, and in the above case, it was the Pacific Provincial Government. Famous Supreme Court reference cases includes the declaration of the Manu Asylum Seeker Center unconstitutional and the declaration of the election of Mr. James Marape as Prime Minister as constitutional. In a Supreme Court reference, the Supreme Court is being tasked to measure an act by the executive or legislature against the Constitution and whether is it in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. These acts may include policy decisions, PNG government agreement to build Manu Asylum Seekers, or legislation passed by Parliament. Example, the intergroup fighting it, or even actions taken on the floor of Parliament. For example, the decision to elect Prime Minister O'Neill when Sir Michael Somare was ill in Singapore, or the decision by Marape government to reconvene Parliament when it had already been adjourned in 2020. Alright. The next case that you have, it's HBS PNG Limited versus Manda, 2021 case PGSC 1 SC 2055, 4th January 2021. When searching for case, if you see the word SC, it stands for Supreme Court. This means that the case may have started in the lower courts, either a district or the national court, but has been appealed to the Supreme Court. In the above case, HBS PNG Limited is the appellant, party appealing to the Supreme Court, while Manda is the respondent, party responding to the appellant's claim. This case was decided by the PNG Supreme Court in the year 2021. Alright, now we look at another case example, which is the Accident Investigation Commission versus Kintao,